there, everybody. It's Mike Delisio with another Dice Tower Daily Unboxing. Today, we're going to be taking a look at Embarcadero and the expansion, the Unsinkable expansion, coming to you from Renegade Games. We are looking at a 1 to 4 player count between 60 to 90 minutes. Rule the waterfront. Step into the shoes of savvy entrepreneurs in San Francisco at the height of the gold rush. Purchase the rights to abandoned ships and dock them in the harbor, then build structures up to 4 stories high on these unorthodox foundations. A high-stakes game of financial enterprise. Okay, so sounds like maybe there's an economic component to it. I do like the cover. I think that's a unique theme. Let's take a look inside the box and see if we can get a better idea on what the game is all about. All right, so here we've got our rule book. And it goes over the anatomy of a card and obviously also our component list here. Our setup here, looks like you've got a basic game and an advanced game, and you would use a particular side of the character cards depending upon which game you are going to choose to play. The game takes place over 3 rounds. In each round, players take turns. Going in clockwise order, it continues until each player has taken 5 turns. There's an end of round scoring that happens as well. At the end of the 3rd round, you have final scoring. Goes into more detail about all the different actions. In the action phase, you must play a card from your hand to perform an action, and there are 3 to choose from. You can dock a ship, you can construct a building, or you can scrap a yard, okay? Scrap a card, sorry. And it goes into detail on each of those 3 actions that you can take. Then you've got a buy phase where you must buy a card from one of the 2 market rows, then store a card from your hand on your player board for the next round. We also have some additional rules here as well that go into a little bit more detail about aspects of the game that are not covered in those 3 basic actions. You've got your end of round scoring that they talk about here. You've got goal scoring and wharf scoring and council scoring. Then you prepare for the next round in the 1st and 2nd rounds. And then end of game scoring talked about there. You also have a solo game mode where it looks like you are the sole proprietor. Okay, and it goes into more detail about the difference of those. It does look like it's a high score variant and some achievements as well that are added there, which is always nice. I like to see something along those lines. And we've got our glossary for the icons, our iconography, and for our bonuses as well. All right, let's take a look at the cardboard components. Now, this already has an interesting look to it in that these are layered, okay? So, in other words, you look at this, and you can kind of see there, I think on camera, that these are dual, I don't know if you call them, I guess you call them dual layered. They have 2 different heights here, and the boats do something similar there. Okay, so that is intriguing, something I'm not sure I've seen much, if at all. And we've got more of our boats. Now these are popping out like nobody's business, so I've been trying to keep them from falling, and it's just not happening. Here we've got some money. Here we've got what looks to be a player board. Okay, places with a nice kind of an overview of the round structure here, which is always nice if you can add that to your components. And more cardboard here. Here is our game board. It looks to be dual-sided. Okay, so here's one side of the board, kind of giving you a little scrolling action here. And here's the other side of the board. I'm going to assume that this is based on player count. Yes, this is the 1 to 3 player side of the board here. It denotes that right here. And then that first side was the 4 plus. Okay, so I'm assuming the player count is going to go up to 5. Yes, it looks like with the expansion, is that, I'm trying to see if on the base game box, what the player count is. 1 to 4 with the base game, and then I'll show you off that expansion here in a little bit, and that adds a 5th player, which you would play on the other side of the board there with that 4 plus. Here we've got some player pieces, wooden, kind of custom. And then we've got some plastic buildings, which I'm assuming you're going to be placing over those dual layered pieces in cardboard. So for example, this is all assumption. I don't know this to be fact, but if this fits nicely on here, which it does, I'm going to assume that that's how it works, that you place these plastic buildings over the raised cardboard bits there, okay? You've got those in 4 player colors. I'm assuming the expansion box will have the 5th player color. Let's look at some cards here. Okay, so we've got some of our boats, some nice artwork on there, a bit of iconography, but it doesn't seem to be too difficult to read, at least to my eyes. Lots of different boats that are coming into harbor. Some buildings, it looks like, as well. And maybe some goal cards with points for the associated goals. All right, we've got more cards here, so we'll take a look at those. Then we'll take a quick gander at what the 5th player unsinkable expansion adds. We've got more buildings. Okay. There we go. These must be the characters that you play as. Okay, and those are double-sided because it looks like one side for the advanced game is going to have, you know, the powers. And here's a solo player aid too, which is very nice for the solo players out there, of which I am one. All right, so that's the base game. Let's take a quick look at the unsinkable expansion, see what this adds to the mix. First of all, it says it adds 3 all-new gameplay modes and everything you need to add a 5th player. These are mix and match, so it's a modular expansion. Pop this here so I don't get them confused. All right, so here we've got our rule book, components, unsinkable ships, entrepreneur buildings, events, and some glossaries, some new effects that come out as well. Here's our new player color here. You can kind of see these are just the same plastic buildings that were there before. And a player board as well. Let's take a look at some of the cards here. All right. Running out of space. Each player must place 2 wharf tiles. These look like event cards. More buildings. Okay, so a modular expansion that adds some new ways to play along with a 5th player that you can add to your game of Embarcadero. Thank you for watching another Dice Tower Daily Unboxing.